Hi, I'm Parasocial. I use they them pronouns. Welcome to my accountability channel. This week I'll be talking about what I read in 2023 and I will be giving an overview of what I want to read in 2024. So, first, 2023. I use Storygraph to keep track of everything I read. I do not review or rate books though, but I want to start that in 2024. I read 12 books, which is a total of 4,597 pages. And my first book was City of Glass, which I started at the end of 2022, and I ended with The Body Keeps the Score, which is a book I actually started in February 2023. So it took almost a year to read that book, but it's a good book. So this is my mood. Apparently, I was feeling kind of in a very moody mood in August, October, and November, which, can happen. I read a lot of different things. And this is how many books I've read. So the max was 2 books a month. I got myself my own page goals, which was 3,650 pages over the whole year, because that accounts to about 10 pages a day, and I thought that's a good start. But I went over it, so yay! Of course, I read the most young adult books, and then fantasy, which is mostly Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter series, which is both young adult and fantasy, and contemporary. And I also read 2 thrillers and 2 psychology books. The longest book I read was City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare in the Shadowhunters series. And the shortest book was from MJ Arledge, Wat Jij Niet Ziet, or in English, What You Don't See. The average length was about 382 pages, and that took me about 67 days. But the least time spent was What Cats Want, because I already knew a lot of things, and it's a very quick and easy read. And then, of course, my 326 days that I read The Body Keeps the Score. And of course, because I read the full Shadowhunter series, I spent the most amount with Cassandra Clare. March was my most pages read month, 976. Okay. And then the most shelved one was City of Glass. The least shelved one was Dead in the Water. I enjoyed Dead in the Water more than I enjoyed City of Glass though. The highest rated was The Body Keeps the Score. I explored 5 new authors. 8 books I read were part of a series, aka 6 of them, I think, were the Shadowhunter series. And it says I reread City of Lost Souls, but I did not do that, and I don't know where that actually comes from. But who cares, right? And I did finish all of the books that I started this year, so go me! And then there is 2023 at a glance, which, of course, a lot of Shadowhunters, very good books. And now, my stats for 2023. The mood was mostly adventurous, and then mysterious, and then dark, and not a lot of challenging moods, but okay. A medium pace, and the page numbers are kinda similar. So, yeah, my fiction and nonfiction was definitely not the same amount of books. My genres, a lot of young adult, a lot of fantasy, then contemporary, and then thriller, psychology, mystery, and then a lot of other stuff. Okay, I just, with the format, I didn't actually go over. All books in this time period are in English. That's because it's very hard to find non English books on Storygraph. Yeah, and star ratings, I just didn't write any reviews. And this is an overview of all the books I read, starting with City of Glass, which, good book. I really liked it. And then we go into the nonfiction with Everything is Fucked by Mark Manson. It's really interesting. It's definitely something I recommend. And then What Cats Want, also a recommendation, but for people who want cats or have cats. And then 3 of the Shadowhunters series. It's a good series. So if you're looking for a series, Shadowhunters. And then MJ Arlich, What You Don't See. This book actually makes me want to read everything that MJ Arlich wrote, and I already bought a second book. So that's on my to read list for 2024. And then One of Us is next. The second one of One of Us is Lying. If you want a trilogy, it's really amazing, and it's so twisty and turny, and you don't really know what is actually happening, but it's really cool. And then A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. If you want sci-fi that reflects what is happening in the world, read it. Seriously, it's amazing. And then we have Dead in the Water, which also such a good book. It's tense and it's gripping and it's really good. The only downside is that it starts very slowly, but it's definitely a recommendation. And then I found The Thursday Murder Club, which this is the first book. The other books are on my to read list because this is so good. This is so good. I cannot just. This is so good. And then the last one that I finished in 2023, right on the cusp of it, is The Body Keeps the Score from Bessel van der Kolk. And it's very interesting. It's also very triggering, but it has helped me through a lot of things. So if you can handle it, definitely read it. And now on to my to read books of 2024. If I don't have them in a physical copy, I don't think I'm gonna read them because I'm gonna try to read what I have. And we are starting with the book. No, not the book thief. We are starting with The Baby Thief. It's a non-fiction story. It's about somebody who sold children in the 1950s. And now on to my fiction of the year. I already know that I want to start with MJ Arledge. Kom je spelen or come play? And in the same regard, I have another MJ Arledge book, Little Boy Blue. This one is in English, so I wonder what the difference will be between the translation and the original book. Another book that I want to read is Blackout by Mark Ellsberg. It just seemed really, really cool to just get into a world where electricity doesn't work anymore. And I am also going to go on with Family of Liars by E. Lockhart, because We Were Liars is my favorite book ever, and this is the next one. Well, the prequel to it. And then I have some books that I'm not sure if I'm going to read, but I do want to read them. Starting with Equations of Being by Jedron Luxpa, which is a couple of short stories. And I have already read a couple of his stories and they are so good. So I just want to know if all of the stories are that good. The next one is Alice from Sarah Flanagan, which is about, I think it's about a woman who keeps her daughter in a shed and the daughter is then rescued. I also got Ender's Game, which looked cool, so who knows what it's about or anything. I'm going in completely blind. And then one close to Alice is Het Wilde Meisje from Isabel Clara Simon, which is about a girl who grew up in the wilderness. And I also have Alice, the Wolf Girl, well, in Dutch, Alice het Wolvenmeisje from Kristen Hanna. And it's also about a girl who grew up with wolves. And I want to go back to my childhood and read Schaduwkrijgers van Luc Embrechts, because I know that he's a good writer and I've heard a lot about the Shadow Warriors. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, comment, all of the YouTuber things. But most importantly, go pet a cat. Bye!